Hey guys, it's Allison and I'm back with another layout for my Harry Potter Studio Tour album. And this layout took a bit of effort, shall we say. You see my giant stack of papers. It's mostly scraps from the bin of scraps that I showed you on the previous video for this album. And I took the time before starting filming to go through every single piece of paper basically and pick out things that I thought might work for these particular pictures. And because I am finishing up the section on the platform 9 3/4 / Hogwarts Express area of the tour, and because this layout is most likely going to go next to the one that I created last time, which was about the candy trolley. So it had a lot of sort of pinks and a bit of purple and some yellow. I want to make sure that I repeat those colors, but you know, this is not a double page spread, so I'm not trying to mimic the other layout. I just want them to be complementary. If you can, if that's, yeah, let's just go with that. And I'm also attempting to not overload my layouts right now with like a ton of bits and pieces, which my giant stack of scraps is probably telling you that I might be lying to you right now. Anyway, so I decide to mat the photos onto just some plain white cardstock, and it does leave me with that little gap on the right there above the one portrait photo. But I think that I can use that for my journaling and a little bit of embellishment. Maybe my title, that's my thought anyways. So as I'm going through all these little bits and pieces that I've pulled aside, I'm cutting out the bits that I think I can use on the layout. So I've got 3 yellow cameras. I know there's no yellow in the photos or even the background paper, but I know that there's yellow on that other layout, so I want to bring that through onto this layout as well. So I've got the 3 yellow cameras, and then I have that baggage tag with the pink top that at this point I'm thinking I can use for my journaling, and then a couple other little bits and pieces from cut apart sheets that I think I can work in. One is a ticket that says adventure and an arrow. The other one is that turquoise arrow, sort of, what do you call that, banner that says adventure. And honestly, I've been trying to use this one and then its larger version on a layout for ever, and I can't seem to get it worked in. And then I have all those lightning bolts, and I've been punching those into circles and sprinkling them throughout this album. And anytime I make a layout that sort of deals specifically with Harry, I try and put a lightning bolt on it. So I've punched 4, and then there was one that is a partial circle that I figure I can tuck in somewhere. So I'm just continuing to go through all these scraps and take what I think I can use, and the rest goes back into my bin. So I've put adhesive on the back of those photos, but I haven't stuck them to the background yet because I'm not exactly sure where I want them. I'm thinking that I want them towards the bottom, but I'm not sure how the rest of the composition is going to unfold, so I haven't committed to that yet. Generally, I'm a stick it and go kind of gal, but I'm feeling quite uncertain about this layout, so I want to give myself a few options. But I do decide that I like the idea of having a couple of strips at the top and the bottom. I have a piece of wood grain from a branding strip, and there's quite a bit of sort of wood tones inside the train, and so I'm trying to bring that out by using a few touches of wood grain. So at the top I've got the one wood grain strip with a shorter yellow strip, and at the bottom I have a different branding strip that had this sort of scalloped wood grain detail on it with a longer yellow strip. So I've sort of reversed the order, and then I've got that pink adventure ticket at the top, and then the little blue thing underneath it is actually a suitcase that I had cut out previously from the sheet from one of Chamelle's Go Now Go papers. and I cut out a couple others. You saw me do that just a little while ago, that I figure I can fit in elsewhere. So I've put the large blue one down at the bottom, and then that pink one sort of in the middle section. And then I'm trying to find places for all my little bits and pieces, the cameras and the lightning bolts. And then that pink block down at the bottom is from a Maggie Holmes cut apart, and it says special moments or special memories, something like that. And that is popped up with some foam tape, as is the ticket at the top that says adventure. So I'm trying to vary the heights of my bits and pieces. So I'm pretty happy with the cluster at the top and the cluster at the bottom, and now it's a matter of working in this middle section and figuring out how to fill in that white cardstock gap. So I start by adhering my baggage tag, and then I had just cut that yellow box from another cut apart sheet, and it says remember this, and I've put that up on foam tape as well. So I'm trying to get all my colors represented in each area. So I've just put a small piece of that scalloped wood grain into this area, and now I am cutting the words take it in. I really like these sort of train board word title things that Chamel did from another Go Now Go paper, and I'm just trying to find the best placement for them. But I don't think that putting them sort of over top of that white sort of empty space is the answer. For one thing, it doesn't really cover the whole white space. And for another, I just don't really like the composition there. So I've gone back to all my sticker books to try and find more things, more to fill that gap. And I'm honestly, I'm starting to get sort of less and less happy with it as I am working. And I have that hot pink washi camera there right now. And then I find this ephemera piece from Glitter Girl that says today is the best day ever. And I really did feel that way about this trip. So I go ahead and stick that in. And then I had to go out for the evening, and I thought about this layout, and while I was away, while I was sleeping, and I woke up the next morning and I just knew I had to rip this whole section apart. I really was not happy with it. So yeah, there was a bit of ripping, but no harm done. Nothing, the photos are fine, and then the paper I can cover up. So now I've kind of gone back to the drawing board to see how I can cover up that white cardstock. And this piece of wood grain paper has been stamped previously with one of my Harry Potter stamps. They're a Kelly Perky set. Unfortunately, I think it's out of stock right now. But and I decide that it kind of works. And so I decide to cut it to fit, and I put that in there. And I'm going to put back a few of the pieces that I liked. So that wood grain scalloped little bit is going back. And then the baggage tag, I liked that pink top of it, but I didn't like the rest of the tag. And I think that was really what was sort of hanging me up, or however you want to say that. Because it really wasn't giving me space to journal on, and that was my whole point of putting it there, was to journal on it. And then I realized it's not that great for journaling. There's a lot of words already printed on it. So this way I could have the pink that I liked, and then put that yellow strip back in, and then I have all that wood grain space that I can fill in with journaling. And so that's what I do. And then once my journaling's in, I can get a few other things in. And I like these words, take it in, as my title. So I'm going to use it as my title. I just need to find out where I want to put it. So I move it around a little bit. But I do like it up at the top there. It fills that gap. Not that the gap was screaming out to be filled, but I think it fits in that gap better than it did trying to fit it on top of the sort of empty space in the photo. But now a lot of the other pieces that I had in that space earlier are really not fitting, like that hot pink camera. I eventually just put it back in the sticker book. I don't put it on the layout at all. I move the little pink suitcase down below, and then that's it. That's all I add, except for some enamel dots. I don't add any of the lightning bolts. I don't add any more cameras. And I'm much, much happier with it now. It doesn't feel quite so overloaded and busy to me. I think the lesson here is that you need to listen to your gut, and sometimes less is more. Not always more is more. Sorry, Shmel. So I've added enamel dots in pink and yellow, and jewels in this hot pink. Same ones that I used on the candy trolley layout. So that's another way of making the two layouts cohesive. So there you are. There's my finished layout and some close-ups so you can see all the little details. And like I said, I'm a lot happier with this particular section of the layout now that I have made it a lot more simple. Okay guys, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you again real soon with another layout. Bye!